Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to the channel. I had to start a little bit early this morning. I thought they were going to start at 5 a.m., but if it's your first time to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. YouTube's being a bunch of buttheads, and they don't seem to push our videos out like they're supposed to. So, got to do what you got to do to get subscribers and get some likes on the video. But if you haven't put any likes yet, but make sure you do. Okay, let's get ourselves in a position to where we're going to be able to see what's going on. But first, let's go ahead and just put ourselves in a position where, we can see what's going on. So, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Machine. And good morning, Machine. Good to see you, my friend. I can see it's disabled. I bet you I know why it's disabled. I bet you I know why, too. Huh. Why they got it disabled? Looks like they're going to be starting in about 7 minutes. Yeah. Looks like they only got 25,320 waiting. So, good morning, good morning. Let's go ahead and just jump to the action screen, I guess, and see what's going to be cooking. Alrighty. During the presentation, everybody, I'm not going to be running my flap trap. Well, basically, I'm not going to be talking during the presentation, but afterwards, we can have a discussion after what we find out today. So, just trying to get everything set up so that way it's all ready to go. Hopefully y'all can hear me. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's hope the pricing's right, but AMD will do AMD things. Yeah, they get an opportunity to miss an opportunity. But let's hope that they don't miss this opportunity. Let's hope they don't miss this opportunity. So, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be one of those times, I guess. It's gonna be one of those times, I guess. I mean, they say 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know it's going to be 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But they're starting early, I would imagine, for some reason. So, Make sure y'all get your drink and snacks, by the way. Make sure you all got your drinking snacks. I got mine right here. NVIDIA is handing them the keys to the car. Yeah, they're handing them the keys to the kingdom, it seems. But also, too, don't count out NVIDIA just yet. Oh, it's 6:45 there. Well, we're going to find out in about 3 minutes when they get started what's going to be happening. And yeah, this could be a pre-recorded, like you were talking about, Machine. This could be pre-recorded. Just doesn't make sense. I mean, the world doesn't make sense, I guess. But like I was saying earlier, don't count out NVIDIA just yet, because finding out that the ROPs, the 8 ROPs that they're missing, could be, now some people were talking about it being a firmware issue for the GPU. They might have found a fix to it. So if that's the case, and believe it or not, if it's a firmware issue, which could be, then they can update the firmware and boom, you're back into the race with the GPU. So just keep that in mind. They could also do a software update that'll fix the firmware also. They can fix the firmware through software. So like I said, don't count out NVIDIA just yet. Everybody's in a panic about, missing this and missing that. They're not done yet. So I'm just, like I said, I'm waiting 6 months to see what's going to happen in the long run. The end game. So hopefully y'all be more patient and do your diligence and do your research, because if you do get a 50 series, like I said, in 6 or 7 months, they could have it fixed. And I know it seems like it's a long wait, but that's just NVIDIA. This is actually, all in all, the first time they've really had a problem with their GPUs. Other than back then for like 900 series or whatever. Everybody claims. Can't be any worse than what, AMD does. So I think they're 50-50 way it comes to not getting things right and everything else. I think they both run neck and neck on that. So still waiting. We'll see. Says February 28th at 4:46 a.m. Should be starting any time. When they get started, then I'll mute my microphone and we'll go from there. Hopefully y'all are joining us for the Lan-Party. I called it the Lan-Party, believe it or not. I made it like a little football event. Kind of mixed in a little bit of a football event to AMD event. Uh-oh. Now they're counting down. And like I said, good morning to everybody. It's morning time here, or good afternoon or good evening time to everybody as well. Yeah, I know. Now I'm just seeing it. Now they're counting down. So while they're counting down. While they're counting down. Yeah, I know. I started a little bit early. So this way I can make sure that the stream is up and running. You know, doesn't hurt to have it a little bit early this time because I know everybody's going to be waiting. You know. So the people that do come on at 5 a.m., they're not going to be missing anything. There's nothing really in between the time I started till the time AMD started. You're not really going to be missing anything. As I'm keeping the conversation low key, just to say. Yeah, I noticed they don't have much of anything. Yeah, I noticed they don't have much of anything. Let me see what they got in the settings. We'll turn it on 1080p. We'll leave the closed caption on. We'll hit the full screen. I got it muted at this point because I don't want to upset the apple cart. Let's move this downwards. Yeah. Move that downwards. Get ourselves all prepared. Alright, hurry back, man. Hurry back. If y'all are wondering, I had to mute the background noise. The music that they got usually is because if I don't, then YouTube usually puts up a copyright. And I'm trying to keep it to where I don't get any copyrights on any videos. Because if you do, they allow it and then you go and get monetized. What happens is they roll back on every one that you have on there and then they start using them against you when you get monetized. So best to keep track of everything and not have any copyrights whatsoever on any videos, live stream or pre-recorded. So we got about 10 minutes to go. So I'm really hoping they don't say, and I'm going to tell you all something. I really hope they don't say that this is going to be $1,000 graphics card. I really don't. Because there'll be a lot of disappointed people about that. Welcome back, machine. Welcome back. I'm really hoping they don't say this is $1,000 graphics card. As I know a lot of people have been saying, and I've been going through Reddit and everything else. Anybody says that if this card's over $600, it's dead on arrival. Knowing AMD, they'll make this card $700. And that's the leaks that been out there. So we got 9 minutes to find out if that's going to become true or false. Y'all can leave your comments in the live stream, because I'm reading them as we go along. So it will be DOA if it's over $700. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I mean, who's going to pay for that kind of performance that's not even going to perform up to a 7900 XT? You only get 16 gigabytes of VRAM. I mean, you can't expect it to do any better than a 7900 XT, truthfully. And that's up in the $800 range. Or, no, actually 600. Last time I looked for a 7900 XT was in the $650 range. My bad. So, if they do anything up above a 7900 XT, everybody's going to be like, screw this, and they're going to get a 7900 XT for $650. So, I think it would be $550 for the 9070 and $650 for the 9070 XT. But they did put on one of their pre-launch papers $700 for the 9070 XT, bro. They did. I did see that, and they put $700. Somebody caught a snapshot of it. So, I don't know. I'm just speculating. Don't get it wrong. It might be less, and I hope it is, and pray to God it's less than $600. But if they make it $650, a lot of people are saying that's going to be kind of a deal breaker. Everybody's going to be like 50-50 if it's a deal breaker or not, depending on the benchmarks. And they're pre-listed benchmarks we looked at, and I mean, their rasterization, raw rasterization, is supposed to get over 43%. And their ray tracing is supposed to be over 51%. So that's by their percentage benchmarking that I got. So it all depends. We got about 6 minutes left. And let's hope this is a good presentation. It's not like CES and it's kind of like a wash. Basically, they talk about a couple things of the graphics cards, and then it goes to, like, machine learning. And I'll be like, damn, they're supposed to be talking for the gamers. No, what they're doing is they're talking about machine learning. I hope it doesn't come down to that. I don't know if y'all feel it comes down to they're going to talk about machine learning. Let me know. Is this like a 50-50 chance they're going to actually talk to the gamers? And this is their presentation? Or they're thinking about they're just talking about machine learning and AI technology? How many times are they going to use AI? Are they going to say AI in the video? Y'all leave your comments. After the video completes, you can count up how many times they talk about AI, and leave your comments on the live stream. Let me know. 5 minutes. Yeah. Seems like a lot of people are doing this right now, and I hope my stream is going good out there for everybody. Hopefully you can see everything. Hopefully we don't have any issues. So far it looks like we're okay. Nobody's complaining. So if you're complaining, just let me know. Leave your comment. If it's not good, bad, or ugly, I know it's 1080p. I know it's 1080p, but I did the best I could. Okay, well, I got it set for 1080p, bro. We got 4 minutes to go. We got 4 minutes to go. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to play. Trust me, I'm impartial, and I'm going to say this, and you're always going to hear me say this. I am impartial to AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, all these companies. I'm impartial. So basically, you're going to get an honest answer from me when it comes to their products. So, not on your side, AMD is at 1080p as well. Yeah. Well, hey, if I'm running the same as them, then you guys are going to see the same exact as them, point A to point B. So, if I'm watching in 1080p, you guys are going to see it in 1080p. It was set at 720p, but I set it at 1080p. So, we got 3 minutes left. A little less than 3 minutes left. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Everybody's like, Jay, will you please get a 4K monitor? I'll get a 4K monitor in time. You're just going to have to be patient. But before it gets started, just to let y'all know, I'm going to mute my microphone and I'm going to turn on the AMD tunes. So that way you guys can hear everything that goes on for AMD. And I just don't want to get feedback through the microphone because I'm not wearing any headphones. I just don't like them trapping my ears. So, not the end of the world. We'll fall apart, I guarantee. We'll definitely fall apart. 4K monitor are under $200 now for 60 hertz. Well, I want something better than 60 hertz. If I'm going to get a 4K monitor, I want something better than 60 hertz, bro. I want at least 240. Like everybody else has got. Get you a 240 hertz 4K monitor right here at Micro Center at about $1,000. No, just kidding. They'll probably have it for less than that. But you can go to Walmart. I mean, I was thinking about going to Walmart looking at a 4K monitor. Yep. If they got it in stock. Ooh, got an itch in my back too. 165 hertz is nice. Yeah. 1 minute to go, everybody. 1 minute to go. So get ready, and the party's about to begun to be started. So I'm going to mute my microphone 30 seconds till. So get ready, get started. And we'll talk to you guys on the flip. So that way we can watch the video all the way through with no interruptions. So do enjoy the video. 20 seconds left, and here we go.
For 25 years, AMD has powered your best gaming moments, driving the industry forward with pure, unrelenting performance. From the early days of first-person shooters to the heart-pounding battles on the latest consoles like Xbox and PlayStation and handhelds like Steam Deck, AMD was there, fueling your victories. Our commitment to the gaming community has always been strong. We advance adrenaline-fueled visual fidelity and push the limits with every generation of Radeon graphics. From the earliest breakthroughs to the most recent FSR launch, we've never stopped innovating.
At AMD, gaming is at the core of our DNA, and the passion of the community is the fuel of our inspiration. PC gaming captivates millions of players worldwide and has become a dominant force in the entertainment industry. It's about community, creativity, and the ever-expanding possibilities that gaming technology brings to the table. Whether you're gaming on a desktop, laptop, handheld, or console, AMD has been at the center of some of the most iconic gaming devices. From the early Microsoft Xbox 360 up to the latest Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 4 to the new PlayStation 5 Pro, or handheld gaming platforms like the Valve Steam Deck OLED, Asus ROG Ally, or Lenovo Legion Go. Even to the latest gaming PCs and laptops, AMD processors and graphics drive the heart of gaming. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Radeon Graphics, which began with the R100 architecture offering hardware transform and lighting capabilities in an industry-leading 30 million transistor design. Over the years, we've poured our hearts and passion into shaping PC gaming and advancing the realism, immersion, and performance of Radeon Graphics solutions. We've transformed the render pipeline from separate pixel and vertex shaders to unified programmable shader units, with many groundbreaking products along the journey, like the much-loved Radeon 9700 Pro, to the first teraflop GPU with the HD 4800 series, to the Radeon R9 Fury X, which was the first consumer graphics card with high bandwidth memory technology. In 2019, we introduced the advanced RDNA architecture with the RX 5700 XT, which has evolved to today's RDNA 3 RX 7000 designs, featuring hardware ray tracing and AI accelerators nearly 2,000 times more complex than our first Radeon GPU 25 years ago. Now, we're incredibly excited to share with you the next chapter in our Radeon journey. We began with some ambitious goals with RDNA 4, starting with an architecture that enables more players to access enthusiast-level gaming experiences. We focused on where gaming is going and built a significantly improved engine for ray tracing and machine learning technologies to meet the needs of games over the next several years. And finally, we were laser-focused in every product decision to ensure that we deliver the best performance and capabilities that gamers want, while ensuring that we're accelerating our performance per dollar leadership. Today, we're going to take you through all the details of our next generation graphics products, starting with the RDNA 4 architecture, with innovations to deliver enthusiast gaming experiences. We'll also share the software innovations built for our RDNA 4 products to enhance your gaming experience. And of course, we will dive deep into the Radeon RX 9000 series performance that we know you're excited to learn more about. First, let's hear from Andy, our lead for advanced graphics architecture, to tell us more about the heart of this new RDNA 4 graphics family.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to be here today to talk to you all about RDNA 4. There's a lot of exciting details to get through, so let's get straight into it. At its core, the vision for RDNA has remained constant since we started in 2019. We always target the best possible performance that we can engineer for the workloads that will be important to gamers in the life of the architecture. But behind that simple statement lies so much complexity. And as our architects sit down at the start of every new project, we have to navigate through all that we've learned and all that we see coming years into the future to drive our innovation and the areas of the architecture that we will focus on. From the Infinity Cache, high frequency and ray tracing that we drove in RDNA 2, to the advanced chiplet construction, matrix acceleration, and physical design of RDNA 3, we aim to bring the very best of AMD's experience in computation, graphics, and advanced construction techniques to bear on the problem of engineering the best products for our gaming customers. Now, with RDNA 4, we are bringing the results of years of research and development to fruition, with the most powerful architecture we've ever designed for gaming graphics. We've targeted every step in the flow of rendering, from the front end, with an enhanced command processor to more quickly handle the commands from the application, through the core, where our updated compute units increase the efficiency of shading and double the performance of ray tracing and deliver even larger improvements in ML, to the memory interface, where we improved our efficiency and compression. Our aim was to make your games run faster and smoother than ever before. Going beyond this, we made sure to also elevate other aspects of the visual experience for our users, with updates to our AMD Radiance display and media engines. The streaming community has asked us for encoding quality improvements for popular services like Twitch, YouTube, and Discord, and RDNA 4 delivers major improvements across H.264, H.265, and AV1. When using our H.264 encoder at 6,000 kilobits per second, we are seeing up to 20% higher VMAF quality scores versus our previous generation. I'm incredibly proud of what the team has achieved, so let's take some time to dig in a bit further to what you as a gamer can expect from RDNA 4. Modern game rendering combines an ever-expanding set of tools to deliver worlds of incredible detail and realism. Rasterization has advanced to the point where we can explore incredibly rich worlds with near unlimited geometric detail. And modern techniques allow fully real-time lighting, removing constraints in how dynamic or complex those worlds can be. AMD's philosophy is to embrace all of the techniques that graphics developers may use and build the best possible platform for them to deliver their vision to gamers. This can be seen in both our advanced RDNA 4 architecture and also our regular updates to our GPU Open website, where we post our latest research and development for everyone to use. Whether a game is using fast approximations to global illumination, using compute shaders, or chooses to make use of our advanced ray tracing capabilities to go even further in quality, we have built RDNA 4 to adapt and deliver great performance. The new compute unit includes a number of key optimizations for shading compared to RDNA 3. Perhaps the largest improvement lies in a new architecture for handling memory requests, allowing work to flow more efficiently through the machine for the complex shading in modern games. We have enhanced the register storage in the core with new dynamic register allocation techniques, increasing efficiency. And we've added dedicated engines to accelerate register block moves to make function calls faster for modern shading languages. We have also extended the instruction set of our scalar units, allowing our compiler to schedule more work on these units for better performance and lower power. Taken together, these changes make the compute units by far the most capable we've ever shipped in our consumer hardware. And the performance results that you will see with RDNA 4 hardware reflect that. Beyond these broad performance improvements, we also focused heavily on enhancing our ray tracing architecture. We attacked this problem at all levels, not only making RDNA 4 able to trace more rays more quickly, but also creating hardware that operates more intelligently to reduce the overall work. Of the many advanced RT features introduced in RDNA 4, I will call out one key area here that drives the efficiency of ray traversal, which is the representation of the world geometry. The data structure that contains this geometry is called the bounding volume hierarchy, or BVH. In RDNA 4, we've taken an innovative approach to this with a new method for organizing that data that we call oriented bounding boxes. And we also developed better compression for the data itself. And these changes deliver much more efficient ray traversal through the geometry, and with a lower memory cost, making better use of capacity and bandwidth. Within the ray accelerator, we've added a second intersection engine, which doubles the performance for both ray box and ray triangle testing. And based on our analysis of ray tracing workloads, we also created a dedicated ray transform block, which increases the performance of the hardware as rays are traversed into the lower levels of the BVH. With our updated ray accelerators, you will see a transformational change in the efficiency of ray tracing, making great performance available to more gamers at compelling price points and delivering twice the ray tracing performance of RDNA 3 per compute unit, enabling smooth gaming experiences even with complex ray tracing effects. Now, let's take a look at our architectural advances for ML, as the impact of these technologies are being felt everywhere, with exciting announcements and new advances turning up on an almost daily basis. Just recently, we revealed a partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment called Project Amethyst, where we've been collaborating for over a year now on research into ML model architectures for graphics enhancements. And I'm happy to say we're already seeing results. Using RDNA 4's second generation of advanced AI accelerators, our users will be able to exploit all of the benefits of these new technologies for gaming, content creation, or any of the other emerging areas that are appearing. RDNA 4 is able to efficiently process new advanced AI models much faster than was possible with previous generations of hardware. Whether an AI model requires high precision with 16-bit floating point, or ultra-high performance with lower precision such as 8-bit or even 4-bit, by adding more dedicated math pipelines and support for techniques such as structured sparsity, we have increased the peak performance per compute unit by as much as 8x compared to RDNA 3. These improvements open a world of new possibilities for users of RDNA 4. And we're working now to bring technologies into games and other applications using these capabilities. So, the performance is great, but what can RDNA 4 really do? 20 years ago, we released a demonstration that showed the capabilities of our newest Radeon graphics when using Microsoft's DirectX 9 graphics API. This demo was called the Toy Shop, and I hope that back then it helped to open people's eyes to the kind of graphics that were now possible with advanced programmable shading. Now, as we enter a new era of path-traced visuals combined with ML, we wanted to call back to this a little bit. So I would like to present the latest work of our graphics research teams, being shown here for the first time in a new demonstration for RDNA 4, built with Unreal Engine 5 and enhanced with our latest techniques for neural radiance caching, supersampling, and denoising. And so, I give you our new toy shop. I hope that you enjoyed that demonstration. I am amazed at what the team has developed, and this is just a hint at what is to come in the future. AMD is also working together with Microsoft to seamlessly integrate neural graphics techniques into future releases of DirectX that will light up the high-performance ML in our graphics hardware. As I wrap up, I wanted to end on one chart to give you a feel for the new levels of capability that RDNA 4 brings and the path of improvement that we've been on with RDNA as a whole. The journey of real-time graphics is just as exciting as ever, and we are not slowing down. But of course, great hardware needs great software. And so to talk more about that, allow me to introduce Andre, our Senior Vice President of GPU Technologies and Chief Software Officer.
Thanks, Andy. The evolution of Radeon hardware has been accompanied by Radeon software innovations, unlocking the full potential of every AMD graphics card. We deliver complete and optimized experience, new features, more performance, and robust stability. With the RDNA 4 family, we are leveraging AI everywhere, from hardware design to software feature development to enhancing our QA. With this vision in mind, our upcoming RDNA 4 Adrenaline driver will set the new standard as the best launch driver in AMD history. Over the past few years, one of our top priorities has been software quality. AMD has made significant progress in improving game compatibility, visual fidelity, and driver reliability. To further enhance reliability, we have implemented AI-driven testing tools that identify issues early in the development. Our testing now covers a broader range of products and configurations, ensuring greater stability across different setups. However, we recognize that no testing environment can account for every unique user configuration. This is why we introduced AMD Bug Report tool, enabling users to submit issues directly to us and help us refine our products. Additionally, we launched a new beta tester program, inviting gamers and enthusiasts to try pre-release software and provide feedback. By working together with our community, we continue to push the boundaries of software quality and stability. Now, it's time to turn our attention to gaming performance. To seamlessly bring great performance to more games, we have a number of technologies that enable gamers to get higher frame rates, smoother gameplay, and a richer experience at any resolution. While FSR is an incredible in-game solution that delivers the best experiences, we know that there are thousands of other games out there where gamers want more performance. And this is where HyperRX comes in. HyperRX automatically enables a suite of performance-boosting and latency-reducing technologies. It works through the adrenaline driver and does not require deep integration into the game engine. Therefore, it is our most widely used AMD software feature, available for more than 1,000 games. This year, we are adding new features for more performance and to improve image quality, with reduced ghosting and improved fine feature handling to make HyperRX even better. In some of the most demanding games at 4K, AMD HyperRX can deliver over 100 frames per second at 4K max settings. In Star Citizens, gamers can experience up to 2.9 times better frame rates. Similarly, in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, users can enjoy silky smooth game experiences at 4K resolutions with all settings turned on. It can also automatically enable latency-reducing technologies like Radeon Anti-Lag to reduce latency in games like Apex Legends by up to 42%. One of the fastest-growing software technologies is super resolution, or frame upscaling. In 2021, AMD released Fidelity FX Super Resolution, or FSR. This is a cutting-edge upscaling technology to improve game performance. FSR has quickly become widely adopted across many games and platforms. Today, FSR is available in over 400 games, and our latest iteration, FSR 3.1, is already featured in over 70 games. The list continues to grow at an impressive rate, enabling all gamers to enjoy frame generation and upscaling. FSR has come a long way since introduction in 2021 as a spatial upscaler. In 2022, AMD launched FSR 2, which incorporated temporal upscaling and motion vector data. This innovation dramatically improved image quality in motion-heavy scenes. Building on this momentum, we introduced FSR 3 in 2023, adding frame generation to interpolate frames and further boost frame rates. Our latest version, FSR 3.1, had many quality improvements to reduce flickering and shimmering. But more importantly, FSR 3.1 introduced for the first time an upgradable FSR API. This was the basis to seamlessly unlock new capabilities in future versions of FSR. Which brings us to today. AMD RDNA 4 owners will get access to a new version, FSR 4, featuring AMD machine learning-powered upscaling specifically developed for RDNA 4 architecture. We are delivering near-native image quality at 4 times lower resolutions. We have improved ghosting, anti-aliasing, particles, fabrics, transparency effects, more effects. The result is much improved near-native image stability with greater performance. In addition to these improvements, FSR 4 works seamlessly with our frame generation and latency reduction anti-lag technology. Everything we discussed is designed with gamers in mind. At the same time, we worked very closely with game developer community. Now we are taking it to the next level with an upgradable and flexible API that empowers developers to seamlessly integrate and deploy future FSR technologies. FSR 4 can be enabled on all participating FSR 3.1 titles. This allows us to deliver FSR 4 on more titles sooner. This means FSR 4 is ready for the future of neural rendering with the same upgradable API. FSR 4 upscaling is end-to-end AI solution developed on AMD consumer platforms with Ryzen processor and Radeon graphics. We trained our model using the latest AMD EPYC and Instinct accelerators and optimize it for the new FP8 ML acceleration in RDNA 4. Our new technology leverages a proprietary hybrid model resulting from extensive research across different types and combinations of neural networks and unique training techniques. FSR 4 uses the new FP8 data type in the RDNA 4 architecture to balance quality and performance. The result is a flexible solution that works with the existing FSR 3.1 framework. Solution that enables a new ML option for upscaling alongside with frame generation and anti-lag technologies for a highly performant end-to-end solution. Here we are showing a close-up shot of Space Marine 2 running native 4K versus our previous generations of FSR 3. In the native mode, you can see the spheres retain a lot of detail. FSR 3 does a good job of retaining most of the detail, but in a performance mode, it does produce a softer image. By leveraging AI, FSR4 is not only able to retain the details, but even corrects the loss of details over the native TAA mode. With that in mind, let's turn our attention to performance. In this video example, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 running at max settings at 4K with variable rate shading turned off. The minute FSR4 and frame generation is enabled, frame rate increases 3 times. In the third-person shooter Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, FSR4 delivers an incredible 3.7 times frame rate uplift with sharper visuals. And in Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, you see faster frame rate by enabling FSR4. As you can see, the resulting output is nearly indistinguishable from the native resolution. I'm happy to say that a lot of our partners and friends are excited about FSR4. Gamers can enjoy the latest ML upscaling technology in over 30 titles at launch, with over 75 titles planned by 2025. Similar to the rest of our Fidelity FX technologies, AMD will make FSR4 for RDNA 4 available to all developers in the second half of this year, broadening the reach as much as possible. I'm sure that you are all excited to hear more about Radeon RX 9000 series products. Let me turn things back to David.
Thanks, Andre. As we built the Radeon RX 9000 series family, we focused on a number of imperatives. 85% of gamers purchase graphics cards below $700, and we wanted to deliver a family of products to level up the experience for more gamers than ever. We wanted to build products designed for today's most popular games and the most anticipated games launching in the upcoming years. That means building for higher display resolutions, as more gamers are playing at 4K and 1440p than ever before. But it's not just resolutions that are getting more demanding. New game engines and new technologies are pushing the settings used in the latest games. Ray tracing has become far more prevalent in the latest titles, and gamers want to enjoy great frame rates with all of the new in-game technologies enabled. And last but not least, we wanted to deliver a product family which makes the whole upgrade process as simple and seamless as possible, with reasonable power envelopes featuring standard 8-pin power connectors on many of our card designs, and the ability to just plug and play into as many systems as possible. Today, I'm so excited to introduce the Radeon RX 9000 series graphics cards, combining our next-generation architecture along with the latest gaming technologies. With a significant performance increase over our prior generation, the Radeon RX 9000 series was built to deliver everything you need for 4K gaming at a 1440p price point. I'm thrilled to announce the Radeon RX 9070, the world's best $549 graphics card. The 9070 is a great option for getting immersed in the latest titles, with 56 RDNA 4 compute units, 16 gigabytes of memory, 2.5 gigahertz boost clock, and over 1,100 AI tops, all in an incredibly efficient 220-watt power envelope, starting at $549. Generationally, at 4K resolutions, the 9070 is able to deliver, on average, 21% faster performance in over 30 of the most popular games, including both raster and ray trace titles. Games like Cyberpunk and Dragon Age: The Veilguard are great examples where the 9070 is able to outperform the 7900 GRE by 25% or more. In ray tracing, those differences can be even greater, well over 30% in many cases. If you have a 1440p display, the uplift is similar at 20%. And all of this is with no special software enabled, just pure 1440p performance. For those gamers playing popular competitive esports titles at 1440p, the RX 9070 delivers great ultra-high frame rates, meeting the capabilities of today's latest high-refresh gaming displays. In games like Counter-Strike 2, Dota, you will see frame rates well over 300 FPS. But if you want to take your performance to the next level, the RX 9070 XT delivers even more, making it the world's best graphics card under $600. It delivers all you need for an ultra-immersive gaming experience at 1440p and 4K. With 64 compute units, clock speeds boosting to nearly 3 gigahertz, over 1,500 AI tops, all at a total board power of 304 watts. And best of all, a starting price point of $599. Looking at the same suite of games against the 7900 GRE, the 9070 XT delivers an awesome 42% gaming advantage at native 4K Ultra. Again, this is pure gaming performance uplift with no additional software enabled. But with the power of FSR 4, the 9000 series graphics cards have the ability to deliver very high frame rates, well above 100 FPS, while maintaining near native image quality. Compared to native 4K performance on the 7900 GRE, the 9070 XT with FSR 4 can deliver 3 to 4x higher frame rates with incredible image quality and responsiveness. At 1440p, the performance of the 9070 XT is equally strong, averaging 38% faster gaming against the 7900 GRE. But gaming isn't the only place where the 9070 XT shines. For creators, you'll see a nice step up in AI creator and generative AI workloads, with the 9070 XT outperforming the 7900 GRE by 40% and higher in generative AI and creator workloads. This is a massive leap forward in performance, advancing both your productivity and creativity. Now, let's look at the competitive performance of the Radeon RX 9070 XT at $599 versus the 5070 Ti at $749. The 9070 XT, powered by RDNA 4, is able to deliver fantastic performance for $150 less. Across some of the most popular titles, the 9070 XT is the best choice for your next gaming PC when looking at raw gaming performance. But when you factor in the difference in price point, the 9070 XT delivers an impressive gaming performance per dollar advantage over the competition's latest at 4K resolution. And if you're looking for the absolute best performance, our partners will feature a higher power 340 watt model with even more performance. This makes the 9070 XT the most compelling upgrade for your system by far. The Radeon RX 9000 series is designed to deliver excellent gameplay at all of the key resolutions, especially 4K and 1440p with next-generation RDNA 4 compute units. Both cards feature 16 gigabytes of video memory, giving you more flexibility to increase in-game settings and play at higher resolutions. Pair that with the latest DisplayPort 2.1a and HDMI 2.1b technologies, and you're ready to drive the latest ultra-high refresh monitors. With standard 8-pin power connectors across most designs, the RX 9070 series is an effortless drop-in upgrade for your system. And with PCIe 5 capabilities, they're a perfect match with the latest Ryzen 9000 series processors and the AMD AM5 platform. The combination of Ryzen and Radeon, along with the advanced suite of AMD gaming technologies, ensures that you're ready to dive into your favorite titles, both today and tomorrow. Now, looking at one of those future titles, our friends at Pearl Abyss are hard at work on their new game Crimson Desert, and we're really excited about this open-world action-adventure featuring incredible graphics, ray-traced visuals, and FSR 4. Crimson Desert is expecting to launch this year and looks incredible on the latest AMD gaming hardware. Let's check in with Pearl Abyss on their progress.
저희 펄어비스에서는 AMD와의 협업을 통해 액션 어드벤처 게임인 붉은 사막의 방대한 오픈월드를 비주얼적으로 타협하지 않고 표현할 수 있었습니다. AMD 라데온 GPU의 최첨단 기술은 붉은 사막의 그래픽 수준을 확장하는 데 큰 도움이 되었습니다. 라데온의 향상된 RDNA4 아키텍처에서는 다이나믹한 날씨 시스템, 캐릭터의 의상과 지형의 디테일한 표현을 위해 제작된 복잡한 쉐이더가 여유롭게 구동됩니다. 또한 라데온 9070 XT의 업그레이드된 레이트레이싱 성능 덕분에 붉은 사막에서는 기본적으로 모든 반사와 광원들이 레이트레이싱을 통해 표현되며 교차되는 검들 사이에서 튀는 불똥과 풀숲의 반딧불이조차 모두 레이트레이싱된 그림자를 드리웁니다. 여기에 FSR4의 혁신적인 업스케일링 기술이 더해지면 오픈월드 환경에서의 대규모 전투나 복잡한 도시에서도 4K 해상도와 디테일을 유지하면서 매끄러운 프레임 레이트를 달성할 수 있습니다. 붉은 사막의 자체 엔진에 이러한 기술들을 통합하기 위해 저희는 AMD와 함께 작업해왔으며 확장성 있는 구조 덕분에 매우 수월한 작업이었습니다. AMD와의 파트너십, 그리고 라이젠, 라데온, FSR4의 시너지 덕분에 저희는 놀라운 품질의 비주얼을 극도로 최적화된 상태로 선보일 수 있도록 노력하고 있으며 유저들이 붉은 사막의 아름다운 월드를 경험하기를 기대하고 있습니다.
Wow. Thank you, Ki-Young-jun, and the team at Pearl Abyss for the innovation you're bringing to PC gaming. I'm so excited to see what your team is doing and how you're advancing the Ryzen and Radeon gaming experience. With the latest Ryzen 9000 X3D processors and the all-new Radeon RX 9000 series GPUs, you'll be ready for your favorite games of today and tomorrow. Alongside our new FSR4 gaming technology, AMD has some of the best options for you with our 9000 series solutions. Our partners have been shipping these cards into retailers and e-tailers to ensure broad availability at launch. I'm happy to say both the 9070 XT and 9070 will be available for sale starting March 6th. And in the second quarter of this year, we'll broaden the family even further with the RX 9060 products, which we'll tell you more about later. From all of us, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being a part of the AMD gaming community.
Guys, AMD missed the opportunity to miss the opportunity. They missed the opportunity. $600 for the 9070 XT, $550 for the 9070. And it's going to be scalped. You know it's going to be scalped. So, and let's talk about it. Let me read through, see what you guys been. Hello, pseudoscientists. Good to see you. 4K. 2 power plugs? I don't think so. 1440p, most likely. So, it's good enough for the 4K 160 hertz uncompressed DisplayPort. Is not at its peak bandwidth here. It's not that I care, just saying. Yep. How many people really use DisplayPort? Guys, 1% of the world use DisplayPort. The rest use HDMI. I mean, fuck. Sorry. And they're trying to, and they tried to throw up the fact of the 5070 Ti, that it's supposed to compete with the 5070 Ti. I'm going to call crap. Because most of your games right now don't have the implementation in the API INT 4 and the INT 8. They're not even there yet. Oh, maybe that's something AMD missed when they told you that. Because even NVIDIA is using INT 8 and INT 4. But it's not implemented yet. And they didn't even claim it. But it's there. But it's for workloads. It's not for gaming. It's for workloads. It's for content creator work. It's not for workload. It's for workloads. It's not for gaming. Oh my God. You guys didn't miss the details. I got the details. So, I know, Machine, you are a 1%er, bro. I'm not, look, I told you I'm going to be impartial, and exactly what I'm doing, I'm being impartial, is because from what I'm seeing, AMD missed it. They missed the whole boat. And now they're going to put it up against the 5070 Ti, which has been gimped by their little screw-ups. So, I tell you what, this is like this. AMD had some big balls, but they just fell short. They fell short. They should have made the 9070 at 479, and they should have made the 9070 XT at 549. They fell short of what I thought. We need to talk about why there's a $50. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not going to matter. Once the scalpers and the AIB partners get their hands on this, those prices are not going to meet. They're not going to mean crap. Just like what happened with Nvidia. They're not going to mean crap unless they flood the market. So, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to flood the market and keep the prices right there for the next year. So this way they get a boost in their pricing. Guys, I don't know. This is becoming really shady. Yeah, we were definitely, Machine. We definitely need to talk about the $50 pricing. So, what will they actually sell for? $600. But from what I was reading from somebody did a screenshot from Micro Center. Was at $1,000. They had $1,000. The lowest I seen one was $899. So they're going to be close to $1,000. Don't let that BS that they just said fool you. I can tell you right now, they're not going to meet $700. They're going to be over $1,000. Especially 16 gigabyte high end, because guess what? This is how I know. The 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte goes for $899. Anything that has 16 gigabytes of VRAM or over is going to be jacked price all the way to the moon. So, yeah, I mean, it might be next year before you get one. I can see this now. It will depend on how much the inventory will be out there. Yeah, they can flood the market, but still, scalpers can buy it all up. eBay, there they go. AMD did not capture enough graphics card for this launch. They've already had the hesitation in their voice. If you listen more carefully, they're already struggling with supply and demand. So don't let it fool you. They're going to raise the price. It's not going to be $600. I can tell you that much. It's not. I'm not going to hold my breath on the $600 or the $700. Sorry, it was no, it was $600. Yeah, you're right. But they had the MSRP marked up originally at $700. So the only reason they lowered it was because of the craziness with the 5070 Ti. But AMD didn't put in fact of the 5070. We don't know what the 5070 is going to do. So we will have to wait and see the benchmarks on all this mess and how it all unfolds. So I'm not going to take and blow you guys' mind up, but I can tell you from what I'm seeing right now, it's 50-50 with me on this. So there should be tons at distributors. Yeah. It's kind of obvious that NVIDIA hasn't gotten a lot out there, but all of a sudden AMD can. And remember, AMD and NVIDIA and Intel use TSMC. They're the producers of all this. How is it AMD is able to get stock and NVIDIA is not? And we know from January, AMD's already had stock going out to retailers since January. And this is where they're going to try to scoop up off of NVIDIA. I guarantee it. But I'm not feeling what they're talking about right now. Yeah. What would take the wind out of AMD's sales, bro? Machine? The scalpers and the AIB partners. And if they raise the price, that's going to take the wind out of their sales. Just like what happened with NVIDIA. If they do the same thing with AMD, it's going to be Armageddon all over again. And that's what it's kind of rolling out to look like. It's giving me that impression that they're going to do MSR. Now, NVIDIA did theirs at MSRP and said what it was. AMD just said what theirs is now, $599 and $549. That's not much of a discount, especially running the VRAM at GDDR6, only 20 gigabits per second. Really? Seriously? Come on. They should have, if they're going to sell it that kind of price, they should at least went up to GDDR6X. They cheaped out. To me, I felt they cheaped out. So they give you a little bit more memory because they don't want to use a better memory. They don't want to use a high-end memory. GDDR6X is a high-end memory. And that's what they should have used. So, just my opinion. So what did they say? Launch is March 6th. Yep. And the reviews are March 5th, maybe. Then reviews are day prior. Yep. In 5 days. Basically, yes. 5 days. We'll find out. Now, let's see. NVIDIA is selling the 5070 for $499. That would be funny. Yeah, bro, I do agree, Machine. That would be funny. Theirs is at $549 for the 5070. They brought that down to 479 on the 5070. Yeah, I could see AMD is going to have a hard time. It all depends on NVIDIA now, the ball's in their court. Remember, NVIDIA is running GDDR7, not GDDR6. NVIDIA is running 28 gigabits per second on their memory. And AMD is only running 20 gigabits per second on theirs. So there's a big difference. And from what it looked like, they were showing some of those pictures, guys. It looked like a PlayStation 3. At 1080p, it looked like a PlayStation 3. Sorry to tell you that. But it's... When you're saying 57, you mean 4090, right? No, bro. NVIDIA did that as a joke. As what I heard from a few friends of mine that know a couple people at NVIDIA, they did it as a joke to shake up AMD a little bit. That's all it was. It was a little bit of a shake up. That's all it was. So if you remember when they did the 7900 XTX and they AMD bit at NVIDIA's heels, if you remember that during that presentation, this was like more or less like a little bit of a kind of a get back kind of thing. They were kind of nipping at AMD's heels a little bit, because of that little bit of what they said on the keynote for the 7900 XTX. So, it was kind of a get back. NVIDIA gets 77% of all the wafers. Yeah. But with that earthquake over in Taiwan, now... what happened was TSMC lost 20,000 wafers. Those big round discs, they lost 20,000 of them. They tried to salvage, 22% from what I heard? Around 22% they salvaged. And they put half and half between AMD and NVIDIA's graphics cards. So, could be the reason why they said in the batch, it could be a bad batch, is because this is why. And NVIDIA's already working out the situation with the graphics cards. So, I'm not going to count them out just yet. They said they improved compression. Bro, listen to this. How many times are you going to compress something to keep compressing it? What did they improve? Absolutely nothing. You can't compress something and keep compressing it. Because if you compress and decompress, it looks like garbage. But they do it over and over and over, keep compressing to make it smaller and smaller and smaller. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to turn out to look like garbage. So, this compression, decompression, I understand going from one side of the internet to the other, you got to compress and then come into your computer and decompress. Now you're asking your computer to compress it again to push it to your monitor to decompress it. When you download a video, let's say you take one of your videos and you download it from YouTube, that's compressed. They took 3 gigabytes of information and compressed it into 115 megabytes of information. That's how much they compress it. But they cut out the little bits. You lose more than you gain when they compress things. You lose more when they compress it. So I'm not fascinated with this. They said they improved compression. Yeah, we talked about that. Maybe the VRAM is fast enough. Actually, no. Because on the 4070, it's GDDR6X at 21 gigabits per second. 21 gigabits per second. And plus, mine is 1.5% faster on the memory than they got on their new graphics cards. That's why I'm not impressed right now. It might show good. It might show good when they do the benchmarks. But overall, when you're playing for a long period of time, that memory speed is just going to fall off. You're gonna lose it in the 1% lows. My opinion, that's where you're going to lose it, in the 1% lows. And it's going to have its problems. So, yeah, but they don't compete with NVIDIA for GDDR7 stock. Yeah, their toy room, what, not demo? Well, yeah, well, their toy room is 20 years old and some, and still it looked like garbage. I'm not going to knock it just yet. I don't have the card in my hand. But from what I seen on my screen, and I know how, excuse me, I know how the 7800 XT looks on my screen. And I know how the 4070 looks on my screen. Okay. But that right there, the 7800 XT looked better. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, hello there, DV. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. I don't download videos. I just download RAM. Bro, there's many things that I've done on my PC since I've had it, since I built it, that tells me which way this is going to go with this product, and it just doesn't seem like it's going any which way. Good morning, DV. So, guys, this is the pitfall of this. This is the pitfall. They're depending on INT4 and INT8 to be their savior, but that's only computation used for workloads. You're only going to gain like maybe 1% or 2 from those if you're using it with the game, but you're not going to gain that much. Not as much as they're claiming. There's no way. And you guys know when I did the benchmark numbers from their percentages does not match to what they just said. And what they just said was less. Not more. Less. What, 22, 23% on rasterization and what, 38% on ray tracing? From the numbers I did was a lot higher than that. And they're not even meeting that. Wow. That is just ridiculous. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be talking about that. But like I said, you guys are probably right. Just wait till the benchmarks come out I'm not going to get myself worked up into a frenzy because for the simple fact, there's a $50 difference between the 9070 and the 9070 XT. $50. Tell me you couldn't spare that much and made it an $80 separation between the two. $80 separation. Tell me you couldn't have done that. Or $100 separation. You'll be the fool if you buy it. I wouldn't buy it. I'm going to tell you, I would not buy it early. Some people will. And then I hear, oh, it's great. And this is the way it happened with the 7900 XTX. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. Then you get down a month down the road. Oh, it's shit. Oh, this is overheating. This isn't working right. And this and that. We already know the song and dance. We already know the song and dance and the future of these two graphics cards. We already know. It's going to take at least 3 to 4 months, maybe longer, for them to actually get the opinion of the public in the right direction. So, make sure you got your thermometers, because you're going to need them. And using a 750 watt power supply with this graphics card, 650 to 750 recommended. You guys already know when you hear a recommended PSU like that, what's it going to do? They said they got to wait on board partners. If you listen carefully, they have to wait on board partners to launch the OC models that pushes them up to 345 to 350 watts. The board partners. Why do you got to wait for the board partners to do that? So that means, oh yeah, they're going to have the OC model. Oh yeah, that OC model is where they're going to make the money. That's where they make the money. So they're only going to give this. This is what it tells me. I don't know what it tells you guys, but what this tells me is they're going to give you half the performance on the non-OC model and charge you $600. And then turn around, put out the OC model, and then charge you $1,000. And the OC model pushes it up to another 13-14%. This is what we're missing on from my chart. So the OC model is going to make up the difference. I don't know if you guys are feeling that. I'm kind of feeling that. Okay, I'll look, DV. I'll have a look at that. I haven't been paying much attention. Make sure you send it to the one that's on my mobile phone. The one that's on my mobile phone. My desktop, I use my mobile phone the most of the time. So make sure you send it there. I'll check here, but usually I don't really. I leave the main account alone. I just use my phone. So, I mean, let's see. Let's see. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Yeah, send it to my mobile, bro. I mean, seriously, send it to my mobile. Yeah, send it to my mobile, so that way, you know, I can, because I'm usually talking on that most of the time. I usually, when I'm not using my computer, I turn it off, and you know, I'm on the mobile phone. So PCGH estimates the 9070 XT will land in between the RX 7900 XTX and the 4080 Super. The RX 9070 will likely be between the 7900 XT and the 4070 Ti Super. Well, if they're right about that, then they're going to be right about that, but I'm just going to be a little skeptical about this right now. Because when they said that the 7900 XTX was supposed to beat the 4090, and it fell short to the 4080, and it still fell short in between the 4070 Ti Super and the 4080. Yeah. I'm still skeptical. So, I really don't foresee that this graphics card is going to get that high. I could be wrong. I pray to God I am wrong about this. I pray to God I am wrong about this. And me being skeptical about this, I hope I am wrong. And I hope it turns out to be right on the benchmarks. I really do. But I doubt it, because the amount of speed on their VRAM, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the benefit right now. That's the thing. In addition, at 6,000 KBs, we have a 20% better bitrate compression for live streams. It might not be compete with NVIDIA, but we'll see the improvement anyway. Well, I can tell you, bro, the compression rate on my videos right now, I'm running at 5,138 kilobytes per second. I know it's not much, but for the speed that my motherboard collects and puts out, and for the speed of my internet, it's fine. Nice and smooth. So, if the GPU underperform, no one will want them, no matter the price. Exactly. Pseudoscientists, exactly. If the benchmarks don't hold up to what AMD is saying, which you got to take the benchmarks with a grain of salt anyway, until you get third-party benchmarks anyway. So, if that's the case, and the third-party benchmarks come out and they're not what everybody expects them to be, and the prices are still holding at $600 and $550 for the other one, I already know if they test the 9070 XT and it underperforms like what they were quoting, I already know the 9070 is going to be crap. So there's no sense of me seeing the benchmarks for that. 9070 XT is going to tell it all. It's going to tell everything about the 9070 and the 9060. Remember, crap trickles downhill. So, truthfully, what I was going by was the amount of speed of on their VRAM. That's what I was going by. Because that's going to be the biggest bottleneck in the world for them. Especially when they're trying to call for this major performance of like the 4080 versus the 9070 XT. This big performance jump. Is it the short-term performance jump, or is it the long-term performance jump? Depends on if you use the graphics card for 30 seconds or you use the graphics card for 3 hours. You got to weigh the two. There's two different ways to weigh this. Okay, usually when reviewers test graphics cards, they test it over and over, at least 10 times, to saturate it completely. So at the end, that last result, and you weigh it in with all the rest of the results, then you'll know if it's good or bad, how much it dropped off or how much it picked up. You got to look at your baseline when you first run your first benchmark and your 10th benchmark, which way it goes up or down. Your first one is your impression. The last one is your results. So if it goes 20% under or 10% under, and you're running it for 3 hours, and you lose 30% performance, just as an example, you lose 30% performance, guess what? Your FPS starts dropping off. The speed of the game starts dropping off. And then you start getting pissed why things are not going in your direction when you're playing the game. They don't do these benchmarks as a long term. Like a 3-hour benchmark. They don't do it as a long term. They do it as a 30-second burst. If they do it for 3 hours and test it 10 times at 3 hours per test, yeah, then I say then that's giving it the shakedown that the graphics card needs. But if it's not, then it's not shaking it down. I can tell you I've already went 6 hours shakedown with my 4070 times 10. So I put a lot of hours in testing mine, and I know the 4070 is going to hold up. So, because it just does. So, and if the GPU underperforms, no one will, basically nobody will. Let's all play Game Boy until they're epic hardware. Yeah. True. You basically gonna have to play Game Boy, or you're gonna have to play GameCube at 4K to have decent graphics. So, but I can't foresee this being a true 4K card. Because if it pulls any power like the 5090 does, that's a different story. That's pulling 575 watts. Compared to their little under 300 watts TDP, that's 275 watts less of nothing, basically. So if you look at the power and you weigh out the power, basically it's 1/2 of the 5090 if you weigh it out by the power. The 9070 XT is 1/2 of the 5090 if you weigh it out by the power. So basically you're looking in between a 5070 and a 5070 Ti, which could be a 4070 Super or a 4070 Ti, or a 4070 Ti Super. One or the other. Who knows? But they're using the benchmark 23% faster with the GRE. They're using 23% faster with the 7900 GRE. And the 7900 GRE sits at a level of the 4070 Super. So, and they're trying to boast themselves 23%. I'm going to say about 13%. And I'm going to say that it sits right in between the 4070 Super and I would say give it the benefit of the doubt between the 4070 Ti and the 4070 Ti Super. To give it the benefit of the doubt. So, the numbers are right in front of you. You guys can do the math. I could already tell you what it looks like in my head is 4080. I doubt it could in some games. Gotta remember, every game's gonna be different. So, yeah, the levels are gonna change. But for price to performance, you only can measure the 5070 with the 9070 XT and the 4070 and the 4070 Super, because they're all clustered in that same field. To say one of them's going to be better and give better performance in that cluster than the 5070 Ti, that's reaching new heights. So, I don't think most people give NVIDIA software the credit it deserves. Yeah, I do agree, pseudoscientist. I do agree about that. And that's the thing. You can't rely on hardware all the time. It can't be always rasterization. You're going to kill your GPU. I can tell you that right now, because if you run pure rasterization all the time, find out how many GPUs you went through in the past 5 years and how long those GPUs lasted you compared to doing 50-50 with the software and the hardware. Some people do software and the hardware and they last over 10 to 12 years. So yeah, you can't have one without the other. You can't run your GPU without the software. But you could. If you want to use Microsoft's display options, their drivers, their display drivers, and you want pure rasterization, there you go. Use Microsoft display drivers and see how far you get. So you want to test rasterization, use their display drivers. You want to find out what FPS you get off of their display drivers, then go that route. Enjoy. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, I'll check the Discord there, machine. I will check Discord. Let me link up on Discord. Let's see. Okay, so what you're saying here is, let me move this up there. Yeah, but they're saying 345 watts with the 9070 XT. That's if it's in an overclock mode. They gave that away. They said 345 watts, bro. They gave that away. I mean, the 4070 Super, how many compute units does that have? Think about it. So, problem is that I don't play Call of Duty. Yeah, not a lot of people do. I do agree. But them saying the peak AI tops... Oh, let me do this. Let me slide this over. Overclocked models, bro. Overclocked models. Okay, so we'll look at this. Difference between the two. Let's do it even one. Let's go even one better. Let's go even one better. Let's see. Let me get that out of the way. Let's go one better. Let's go 7800 XT specs. Let's go to the compute units. Let's see. 60 compute units right here. Oh, that's right. You guys want to see the big cursor. I forgot. Here, I'll take you guys along. Not Windows Update. Get out of there. Big cursor, big cursor, big cursor. Boom. Okay. Right here. 60 compute units. Right here. Let's 56 on the 9070. 64. 4 compute units, bro, is only going to give you 30 FPS, 30 to 40 FPS. 4 extra compute units. So, and believe it or not, this, if you look at it, they said PCIe 5.0 x16, but they did not mention that in the presentation, unless I missed it. Unless I missed it. So, back to back, I mean, AI accelerators, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that they got going for them is the AI accelerators. That's the only thing they got going for them. The 128 AI accelerators. That's the only thing they got going for them right now. Right there. But that's for workloads. That's for content creator work. That's not gonna make any difference for you. That right there is not going to be anything that you're going to use anytime soon. So for $600, my 4070 has more usage than this. And their boost clock's 2.97. I got my 4070 at 3.090 gigahertz. So, And if you overclock it, yeah, this will go to 3.1, 3.2. If you overclock it. But at stock clocks, this is all you get. So, yeah. Okay. But 1165 tops to 1557 tops. Do the math. Do the math. So for 50 bucks, $50 difference, we go 1557 minus the 1165. So for $50, you get 392 tops for $50 in between the two. $50. You got to remember, the AI tops are going to be the ones that they're going to be using for Microsoft. Those accelerators are going to be used mainly in the operating system and some of the features that they're going to be having for, hopefully, for Windows 11 2025. So this is where this is going to become important. So yeah, but I have the overclocked mode, bro. I have the OC mode. My OC hits at, I mean, look. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you. And this is at stock. This is at sitting at idle. Right here. 2520 megahertz. And that's sitting at idle. Mine is set into the OC mode. So. This right here. This right here. That's their overclock mode. It's 2.52 gigahertz. My base clock sits at 2.52 gigahertz for the 9070. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. But you can see, and I'll show you again. I do not have mine overclocked whatsoever. Mine is not overclocked. 0, 0, and 0. Only thing I got rolling is my fan speed at 78%. Power limit still the same 100%. Temp limits at 84, just like yours. Mine's not overclocked. It's overclocked by the switch, but that's pretty much it. So. Your energy plan mode is prefer maximum performance. When I use normal mode, or as one called earlier, adaptive. Yeah, but the thing is this. It doesn't matter when it's sitting idle. When it's sitting idle, your base clock should be different than your boost clock. So, on mine, my base clock is 2520. Is what it is. So, just saying, you know. I have no idea, bro. Machine, I have no idea, man. But also, too, I don't have my power limit set up at 112% neither. You got yours at 112%. I don't have mine at 112%. Mine only sits at 100%. And yeah, basically it is what it is, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, the clock speed bump doesn't increase power consumption when idling. Yeah, it doesn't. It just means your base clock starts off at a higher rate, and when you go to push to 100%, it gives you a narrow window to have that extra power when you first start. Just to get that little extra power when you first start, it gives you that little bit of a boost advantage. It's just a boost advantage, that's all it is. The higher you get up your frequency for your base. But you know what? I can't change my base clocks. Only NVIDIA can change my base clocks. Only their software can change my base clocks. I can't change the base clocks in the BIOS of the motherboard. And I can't change the base clocks in the firmware of the GPU. Everything is intact as when I bought it. And this is the way I bought it. So yeah, the clock speeds bump doesn't increase power. I have it, so I have the power if I need it. Yeah, you do. I mean, it's there if you need it. Anyway, let's all agree that AMD did a fantastic job and will, without any doubt, enrich the gaming world, or the world of gamers. Well, truthfully, I will agree with that. In an overall presentation, I will agree to that point. Really, I will agree to that point. Because when you look at it at end of the day, it's still a graphics card. It still possesses the same base power and still possesses the same base power as your 7800 XT, your 7900 GRE, and maybe even close to 7900 XTX. Close to, but not there yet. But your boost clock, that's all definitive. You can't put a price lock on the definitive. So basically, where your base clock sits, that's one thing. All depends on the games that you play, not what games I play, what games you play. That's what matters the most. That's what's going to either make or break this graphics card for some people. Because some people love Cyberpunk. Wasn't on their list. What would have put AMD into a different realm when it comes to ray tracing? They would have optimized Cyberpunk on their game list just to prove they can do ray tracing. They missed the whole thing. They focused on the rasterization and did nothing to focus on the ray tracing. They missed it. Again. I know you guys are probably saying, what the hell, it looks good, yeah, it looks good on the numbers, but they still missed it on the ray tracing. They should have added to their game list Cyberpunk. No, they add some crappy games to their game list that kind of resembles Cyberpunk. I could be wrong. They could put it in there. Who knows? But they still missed it, machine. Go to bed, dog. Leave me alone. Oh my God, dogs. But they still missed it. They still missed it. They totally missed it. Yeah, but bro, you missed it. You missed what I was trying to tell you. If they're bragging about having better ray tracing on their graphics cards, if they're bragging, they should have made that the focal point. But in my mind, they made rasterization, raw rasterization, their focal point. They did not make the ray tracing the focal point. This is what's throwing me off. This is why I'm having that feeling that they didn't really gain that momentum for rasterization or ray tracing. They didn't gain that momentum that they wanted. That they're just pulling it along with the rasterization. If they specialize in rasterization, raw rasterization, and they want ray tracing to incorporate like this, that's 2 in 1. People are going to jump to that. They pulled rasterization over ray tracing. They did not pull it together. That's where they missed it. Did they advertise it on the video? Cyberpunk? Did they even bring it up? No, they brought up all this goofy crap. They brought up Warhammer. So what? The main game that everybody plays is Cyberpunk. And a lot of people play Cyberpunk. And they didn't bring it up. Why? Nobody can answer that. Nobody can answer the reason why they don't bring it up. And, I mean, NVIDIA doesn't have to bring it up because they're experienced on ray tracing. But AMD said they want to take a crack at ray tracing, guys. They didn't excite me. They tried to excite the fanboys on ray tracing. Rasterization. My bad, rasterization. They tried to excite the fan base on rasterization. Especially when they're dipping their hands in something new like ray tracing. Why didn't they excite that and pull it together like this? They didn't. They did one side and didn't do the other. The way I felt, that's the way I seen it. I mean, if you pull the two together in a combination, your graphics card's going to work like a beast. This is where everybody misses it. Oh no, we just run rasterization. Oh no, we just run ray tracing. No, we don't run that, Pull it together, you got a beast. When I run my 4070, I pull together as much rasterization as I can. Boom, ray tracing together, a beast. I don't have to worry about my 4070. I don't have to shriek. I don't have to go around and tell everybody, oh, this card, I don't know if I want to talk about this card. I can talk about it because I've been testing it for almost 2 years. Solid. Nothing else. Nothing else. So I can brag on it because I've tested it for almost 2 years. Oh, what my dog was doing. My dog's me and my dog, man. She does what she does. So, 64% FPS is Cyberpunk 2077 at native 14p Ultra with ray tracing. Yep, but that's only going to equal out to what? 78 FPS. So, for other people who don't understand everything about overclocking, but I agree with you on that, what sites on the internet do you recommend in addition to learning with you? On as far as overclocking, if you want to know, if you want to get basic lessons, if you want to do it on YouTube, you know, you got Jay's 2 Cents, you got Gamers Nexus. I don't know so much about, that one over there, the one that's in Canada, what do you call it? Linus. Yeah, that's who it is, Linus. Now, just kidding, Linus. Just kidding. Don't get bent. He might be able to do that too. Me, when I go and I start setting the values and I start overclocking, I put the values in front of you guys to show you what the values are. I do that. And show you the performance. I do it live where you see it. So, yeah. There are different settings for this game. It would be too honest for them to show the 7900 GRE footage and the next to the new GPU in comparison. Daniel Owen's gonna do it. Yep. Well, yeah. For me to do it, I do it right on my screen. I don't use a separate PC when it comes to that benchmarking thing. I do everything on one PC and it's direct to you guys. You guys see everything. I don't do it through a caption card in another PC setup. I do it on the same PC and it's done right through OBS. It's like screen share. I do it right through the screen share so you guys see exactly how I do my benchmarking. So, it is what it is. So, Linus drop tips, yeah. But like I said, guys, I mean, look, it's just coming out of the gate. I'm not going to knock it just yet. Look, if AMD said, okay, we're going to send you a 9070 XT, I tell you what, I would be nice enough to unplug my 4070 from my PC and put in that 9070 XT and test it with what I got going on. And if it goes way above the margins like they say it does, then I'm going to tell you. And if it's that good, I'm definitely going to tell you. But if it's crappy and it doesn't meet the performance of my 4070, oh, I'm definitely going to tell you. So either way, I'm going to tell you. So there'll be a day that they'll say, hey, Jay, you know, let me send you this for testing. Okay. Send it to me for testing. And guess what? Send me a packing slip, a return packing slip, so that way I can send it back to you. That way, if it's crap, I can send it back to you. So I don't have to take and, litter up the landfill with garbage. And that's how I look at it, too. It's either I return it back to the place I got it from, or it goes into the landfill. If it's garbage. I know you guys are saying that's rough, but it's a point that I have to make with these companies. If they keep giving us crap, that's all it is crap. If they can't get the hardware corrected, it's crap. If they can't have decent day one drivers, it's crap again. So, I know you guys are thinking, well, sometimes they do, and you don't stop with the excuses. Okay, this is the point to where I say right here, we're not making no more excuses for these companies when it comes to the performance of their graphics card. They put out these performance measures and tells us what's on the graphics card as far as hardware wise, and give us the full details. And when we go to test it and it doesn't match up to those details, I'm not sugarcoating shit. I'm not sugarcoating it. I did that so many times with Intel back years ago. I'm not doing it anymore. That's like lying to the public. That's like misinformation. I can't do that. Hell no. I can't do that. I can't let all the checks and balances go unchecked, like some people do. Like, they're kissing butt because, oh yeah, I'm getting money from them. I'm just going to kiss their butt just a little bit more and squeeze that turnip. These companies don't pay me. And I've been doing my channel for getting close to 3 years. You think they paid me once? Hell no. Do you think they got in my email service, which I have on my main page? Do you think they actually emailed me? Hell no. I got one offer from one sponsor, but I don't know the sponsor, so I said no. I don't know who it is. I don't know if that was a hacker deploy. I'm not going to take a chance. So I erased the email. If you sent me the email and you want me to showcase your product, email me more than one time, because that right there makes me think it's malware. If they only email you once, but they don't do it consecutively or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times to get your attention, this is called hacker stupidity. Where they mail you one time and say, hey, we want to sponsor you about this, click on this. Yeah. You got to do more than email somebody one time. Just bringing that point. So, if you don't have multiple emails from these companies and they're not knocking at your door wanting you to showcase their product, then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call it right down the middle. And if they don't like it, too bad. So you're saying you were sugarcoating Intel years ago is like your personal road to Canosa? No, bro. This was before I even got on YouTube. This was basically back then in the 80s when people were coming to me with their broken computers and wondering the best processors to use on the market. And I was always advertising Intel. That's what I'm talking about. This was before the internet ever came about. This is before the internet ever came about. That's how far back. And then once I started to see AMD and what they can do, you know, it kind of twisted me in between. And ever since then, I've just been going in between companies. I cannot decide which one is the best. Now, when it comes to the upcoming new products they put out, like the 9800 X3D, so far took the crown. So far. We'll see. Never know. Intel might take that crown back. So. Yeah, personal recommendations. I see this regularly when visiting PC part shops over here. Yeah. I mean, people always ask me that question, what's the best of the best? And I tell them, far as what I tested, this is the best of the best. And I tell them like this, you can take my word for it, or you can take it like a grain of salt. And I've always said that back years ago, and I'll say it again. Even when I'm making my videos, you can either take it like gold, or you can take it like a grain of salt. Either way. It's up to you. So. But that's your decision. That's not mine. I can't make your decision for you. You got to make your decision for you. You have to decide what's going to be best for you in your gameplay and everything else. I cannot make that decision. I can tell you what I can recommend, but as far as telling you directly you need to do this, no, it's not happening. I can recommend to you this might be the best way for you if you feel to go that way, but if you're wondering if I have hesitation about a product, I don't hesitate about a product. If it's crap, I'm going to tell you it's crap. And if it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. So, you ask my honest opinion, I'm going to give you my honest answer. If it's crap or it's good. Two things. There's nothing in the middle. I don't do this thing in the middle crap. It's either it's good or it's bad. End of story. Cut and dried. Either or. So. And that's the way I look at it. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat crap. I'm not going to put you right in the middle and say, maybe it might be okay for you to get. And then when you get it and you test it out and everything else and it's crap, then you're going to be like, well, your maybe turned out to be crap. So I'm not having that happen. It's either good or it's crap. So if you're going to take a crap, then you better take some toilet paper with you, because that's about where it's going. In the toilet. So, just my opinion, guys. You can take out my opinion however you want. So, yeah, as long as the criticism is constructive and includes recommendations for improvements, some manufacturers could be fine with this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know with my 4070 there's faults. I know that, there's nothing they can do to control the FPS that comes out of those graphics cards. And that's first thing everybody doesn't get. These companies cannot control the FPS that comes out of the graphics cards. Nobody can. Because it depends on the silicon and the way the silicon was prepared. It all depends on the architecture and the way it was floated. It all depends on the PCB. And each component has a different value. Like one resistor might be 0.001% different than another resistor of the same value. There's nothing concrete about the measurement of your hardware. You cannot measure one graphics card to another. There's always a point of difference. Always. There's always going to be that point of difference. So, you can't really measure them. You can pray to God that you got the golden sample. You know, you can pray that. If the audience is big enough, chances are even, then they will send review samples. Well, they do, they don't, bro. I'm already working on the factor of how to start getting my finances to go forward. I'm already working on that because if I wait on these companies, I'll go broke waiting on these companies. I'm not going to go broke because of them. I'm going to do something for the channel. I'm already working on plans to take something in part-time so this way I can start buying parts again. Is what it is. Even if I cut, I've already cut down the factor of how many videos I make per week, but it doesn't matter because when I do the live stream, if you break down the live stream for over 2 to 3 hours, right, and you break that down into 30-minute segments, if you look at it like that and you just say, okay, well, Jay's breaking it down into 30-minute segments. So you take 2 hours and you divide that by 30 minutes. It gives you, 6 videos? 6 3/4 videos. Might as well say 7 videos in one live stream. So it is what it is. You accept the way it is. So everybody has the thumbnail point at 30 minutes. Some people say 20 minutes. I mean, then you can say I did overall 10 videos a week in one live stream. Tech Power Up writes an RDNA 4 compute unit gain 100% 3D raster performance improvement over RDNA 2. But the problem is they keep going back to the past. They keep measuring in the past. Remember, I told you guys that if these companies would do generation to generation and go over the 100% mark, I'm not just saying if you go look at the relative measurements on Tech Power Up to where it goes up, you got a baseline of 100. I'm talking about a baseline of 200. I want to see every graphics card have a baseline that comes in from the newest generation that comes in. I want to see it have a baseline of 200. And then the factors of how much more value it has. The problem is we don't see that. We don't see it having 200% value. No graphics card on this market right now has a 200% value. Other than maybe squeezing out the 4090 or the 5090. Only two. that have that market value. The rest don't. The rest don't carry that value. So, Wizard quote, kudos to AMD for not comparing this with the older RDNA 1. Yeah. I mean, they should have compared it to the RDNA 3 if they were going to do it. Not the RDNA 2 or the RDNA 1. That should have been later on down the road as they made improvements to RDNA 4. They missed the boat and missed the boat again when it comes to the software. They should have brought up last generation to this generation, this new generation, and then as it went down the road, they could made improvements and then say, well, RDNA 2, blah, 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 we made a little bit of improvements to bring it up to speed close to the RDNA 3 architecture. They could have done many of things. NVIDIA did it. Even though that they got their lock software, they did it. They're now trickling down 50 series performance to the 40 series graphics cards. A lot of people are missing that about the software. A lot of people are missing that about the software. They're giving you free software. Free software. Free software. And everybody's still crying about NVIDIA. Watch in another week or two, they're going to be crying about AMD. It's never going to stop. The crying never stops. The fear-mongering never stops. All graphics cards will work fine for games in general. Depending on what game it is, you might need something with a little bit better horsepower. But in general, all games work the same on any graphics cards you have. Your general purpose, everyday games, if you even play Facebook games, they all run the same way on all graphics cards. Rasterization don't mean crap. Ray tracing doesn't mean crap. If you run OpenGL, all the rest of it doesn't mean crap, except for the driver software for the graphics card. That's it. That's raw horsepower. When you use nothing but the driver software only of the graphics card, no software extras anywhere, and test it then, just off of the drivers, not the software, the drivers alone. I know it's part of the software, but you can separate the two. When you're installing your graphics card, you can separate the drivers from the software, where you only have the drivers but nothing else, and run that with your games and see what kind of performance you get. You want to know what raw horsepower is? Do that. You want to know the same scenario? Then run OpenGL in games or Vulkan. Then you'll see the difference between running those and running DirectX or DirectX 3D. You'll see the difference. Hello, John Paul. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome back, man. Everybody talks about raw rasterization. Do you actually know how real raw rasterization works? Well, let me explain it. Drivers only. That's it. No software to enhance anything on your graphics card. Now, when you go to the display settings in your games, the only thing you should be dealing with is the ultra performance on AA native. That's it. No ray tracing, no extra bumps, just pure performance. Then you come back and say, okay, well, I did that, and this is what I got. And that's all you're going to get. Simple as that. So, that's how you do it, if you're wondering. I know some techs will say, no, you don't, you do it this way. Yeah, okay, you keep doing it that way. You keep doing it the way that you keep feeding the consumer crap, instead of telling them the real deal and how to actually find the true performance of your graphics card. My true performance of my graphics card is at 548 FPS raw rasterization performance. I already know this. So, but when you go to play a game, it does change. It can cut into half, depending on the load of the game. So, I already know this too. John Paul says, AMD cards has always done better with Vulkan than DirectX, which is true. I agree 100%. But most of your games that everybody plays are not on Vulkan. They run DirectX. You'll be lucky to get a really good AAA game on Vulkan. That's asking for a lot. So, AMD told us in our post CES roundtable that it is gunning for one thing and one thing only: market share. Yeah, that's what was said on the video for CES. That's the only thing they really care about, is market share. Now, remember, I told you guys in the beginning of the video, if you watched the live stream, beginning of the live stream, I know I started it a little bit early, but I asked you guys how many times they talked about AI. I counted 6 times. I counted 6 times they talked about AI. I don't know if you guys felt that, but I counted 6 times. That's 6 times more than I was expecting them to talk about games. And certain games. So that became somewhat a bit of a turnoff. Especially when they can't talk about the most popular games on the internet in Steam right now. And they went around that. And you guys missed it. I didn't miss it. I did not miss that. That just seems crazy, since AMD equals gaming CPU / APU OEM for the most part. Well, yeah, but they missed the boat. And I keep telling you guys this, they keep missing the boat. This time they really missed the boat, especially when they bragged about the fact through the longest time right now about ray tracing. And they did not brag enough in their presentation about ray tracing. They did about rasterization. They brought that to the forefront. But they didn't ray tracing. They did a little bit. Just teensy little bit, but not much. Not enough to satisfy me being a gamer. I don't know about you guys, but it didn't satisfy me enough. And that's what I wanted to hear, was that ray tracing. What they did to make it better. Not giving me just like a, let's shove you and you hear a little bit and then shove you out of there. Let's talk about the rasterization again. No, I wanted to hear about their ray tracing. Them dig deep into it. More than they did the rasterization this time. If they would have dug deeper into the ray tracing and made that their focus point, they would have taken a lot of market share from NVIDIA. But they didn't. And you guys are still missing the point. Yeah, I seen that on Valorant. I mean, come on, really? I mean, seriously. We'll have to wait and see the real performance. Yeah, but they are a company that just did a presentation to the public. And said, this is what's going on. First impression is always the best impression. They did not make a great first impression to me. Especially when they pre-recorded this. This is all pre-recorded. And then they posted it live. And they didn't even let anybody comment on it. Yeah, what are you kind of hiding when you turn your comments off on your video? I don't turn the comments off on mine. They just don't post up on mine. Because YouTube's got a weird way about those. Somebody complains about, I seen my comment on the video. I don't like it. And somebody complains to YouTube. They can, put a bad hurt on your account. So that's why I don't post mine up on the screen anymore. Somebody told me that you should not do that. But they missed the opportunity, guys. All I'm saying is, them being the top heads of the company, they should be able to bring the life to the forefront of what they're trying to accomplish. And that's just telling me that they're not focused on ray tracing, and that wasn't their accomplishment. I know you guys are going to argue with me about it, and that's what we're here for. We're here to hash it out. We're here to talk about it. We're here to get down to the nitty gritty of what everybody thinks when it comes to these companies. That's the reason why I do these live videos with you guys, is to get down to the dirt nitty gritty to find out what is really the focus. What are these companies really focusing on? We hash it out to figure out what their focus is. I can really tell you that they only focused on rasterization, but they did that ever since they bought ATI and turned it over into Radeon. They really didn't have that much focus when they bought ATI, truthfully. Yeah, MTBK says, censorship, that is the normal in a parliament. Yeah, but I'm not in a parliament, bro. I'm just in the USA. We have open minds and we have open discussions, so we say what we want to say. But just hopefully that, we try to keep it as clean as we can, but anyway. So, we all can agree to disagree. As simple as that. But I could tell you the focus point was these big heads that they had. Their hats were the big hats. They were not focused where they needed to be. Why do people buy NVIDIA? Think about the focus. Why people buy NVIDIA? They buy it because of what? It's simple. You all know the answer to this. The reason why people buy NVIDIA is because of what? You can answer it. I know the answer to the question, and just making sure that you guys know the answer to the question. So, maybe we need some yeah, maybe we do. Fishing in the dark, yeah, probably. Oh, I played that song so many times when I was DJing over in Second Life. Oh my God. I just felt like it was driving me out of my mind. Played that song maybe 700-800 times. So that brings up the good point, John Paul. This seems like the same song and dance that AMD's always been pushing out there. Nothing feels different to me. Nothing feels different, guys. Nothing feels different in this presentation. The only thing different, they didn't bring Lisa Sue out. I wonder why. Is she that embarrassed over her product? She usually does a live presentation. What the hell is the difference now? She didn't show up at CES. She didn't show up in this one. Why? Did she get fired? Really? Ray tracing, the software quality, and the love of our Emperor NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang. Yeah. Look, if you make a product that stands out and it's good, it's going to stand out. But if you're making a product to go in competition with another product that's already been in good standing, I'm going to tell you guys can say whatever you want, and I know you're going to do it anyway. 40 series, been tested out, and everything else. In the long run, at the end of the day, it is a beast. It ray traces like a mofo. It is good for recording videos, doing live streams, and doing gaming at the same time. Don't matter if it's a 4070, whatever. It does its business. Now, I'm impressed with mine is because it's a beast. One, you got one graphics card here that out of the whole line of 40 series, one graphics card, the 4070, is the only one that has an 8-pin connector. All of the rest of them get the 12x6 or the 12-volt high power. 4070 is the only one that has the 8-pin connector. The only one out of NVIDIA's lineup. Not unless they did that with the 4060, but I didn't see any. Unless I missed something. You guys can tell me in the comments if I missed something, you know. So, Lisa Sue being fired would equal AMD's downfall into a pine box for good. Into the abyss, yes. AMD is being very brave to compare with the 5070 Ti and the GPU that has a bad start as well. Yeah. That's They should have never compared it to the 5070 Ti. MTBK, you know the answer to this. This is common sense. If you're not getting full performance off the 5070 Ti, and they compared it to that, so where's the performance of the 9070 XT now? It's common sense. If the performance is down low on one graphics card, and NVIDIA can fix that in the long run, in the future, which they can, and bring the performance up, now you got a performance gap in between the 9070 XT and the 5070 Ti. And now that pushes it down towards the 4070 Super, and that pushes it around the 5070. And then everybody thinks, oh yeah, it's going to beat the 4080. Yeah, for what, 30 seconds? What, for 30 whole seconds? Try 4 hours. Try 24 hours. These are short burst intervals. These are not long game sessions like we all play. That's not how they, benchmark their stuff. It's not long gameplay, like 8 to 10 hours. So, yeah, they should have. I agree, MTBK. They should have measured it to the 4080 Super. I do agree with that. But hey, it can still sell. Yeah, it can. Them comparing the 9070 to the 5070 Ti will not stop people from buying it. Which is true. I'm not knocking that. People are going to buy it anyway. Just because they want to put it into their collection. Probably not for gaming, just to put into their collection. Or for benchmarking purposes or whatever. So yeah. AMD shouldn't have had any comparison. Well, they should have. They should have compared it to their own stuff. And let everybody else do their own analysis of what it compares to across the party lines. And let everybody else do their own analysis. But they didn't. They did the worst thing you can do, is take a $750 card and compare a $550 card with the $750 card. That's not price to performance. That's boasting because you're trying to make your product look good. Now, who's not to say that the 570 being at 549, the same as the 9070, not the XT model, the 9070. So the 5070 and the 9070 are two competitors. Now the 9070 XT is going to be a competitor of the 4070 Super. Is what it is. The price variance between the 4070 and the 4070 Super back then was $50. So I'm not knocking AMD just yet about that $50 rule, because NVIDIA did it too. Because it was $600 for the 4070 and the 4070 Super was $650. Give or take. So I'm not going to knock AMD about the $550 for the 9070 and $600 for the 9070 XT. Now, if it come down to price to performance in between the two, and that $50 was shrunk to, let's say, 3 cents per, then yeah, the 9070 would be a better buy than the 9070 XT. So, believe it or not, if it comes down to it, the 9070 could be a beast compared to the 9070 XT. Because you got to remember, the 9070, you can get a 9070 OC model, which will put you in comparison with the 9070 XT. So if you really think about it, you can get for $550 the 9070 OC model, and then get the same performance as the 9070 XT. Get the point? Could go that route. That's up to you. But I'm not suggesting anything until after the third-party benchmarks come out. I'm not suggesting anything until they come out. So, which AMD card should have been compared to? Well, like I said, the 6950 XT is one. The 6900 XT, the 6950 XT, the 6800 XT, those are two. The 7800 XT, the 7800 or 7900 GRE, and the 7700X XT. On the NVIDIA side, it should have been the 3090 Ti, the 3090, and the 2080 Super. Let's see. The 4070, the 4070 Super, the 4070 Ti, the 4070 Ti Super, the 5070, and the 5070 Ti. All of that, put the benchmarks on the table, see where they lie. See which one's the best of the best. And then which one comes up second, third, fourth, and so on. But I'm not talking about 30-second tests. Do 10 little 30-second tests to equal up, what, to 3 minutes or something like that. I'm talking about doing real-world 8 to 10 hour gameplay test. Not by you watching the monitors or anything else. The monitors being ran by somebody else. And all you're doing is just playing the game and having a good time. And then in the end, give your best impression of what you think about the product. And then measure the benchmarks that you got. Match the data to what you feel. And if it's good or it's bad, tell the public. So, just my opinion. That's a real world benchmark. Doing a local benchmark is doing 30-second burst. You do 10 of them, that's 300 seconds. So, whatever. I like the choice to compare these new GPUs with an RX 7900 GRE. Well, that was supposed to be a limited edition graphics card, but it turned around. They let it roll for quite a while. until they sold out. Until they sold out of the GREs. That's the reason why they discontinued them, because they sold out of them. And also, too, that's just like a little bug in everybody's ear that we're going to get a product that has a same baseline as a 7900 GRE, basically. So, overall, that's basically what you got. $5070 is too late for comparison. Yeah, because if you take the 5070 Ti, cut it in half, then basically what you got is a 5070 XT. Or take the 5070 Ti, cut it in half, boost the performance up by 10%. There's you got a 5070, basically. Because basically the way the war of the worlds is going between 12 and 16% between 40 series and 50 series generation, from last generation to the next generation, going in between 10 and 16%. So I say 16% because that's pretty much the way it's rolling. Between the 4070 and the 5070 is coming down to 16%. Now going the other way, going towards the 4070 Super, that's 18%. So, I mean, anybody that's got a 4070, they would say, okay, well, 2% better on the 4070 Super compared to the 5070. There's a problem. So, you guys can do your math any which way you want to do it. That's how you want to do it. That's how you want to do it. So, the GPU mentioned are close in average comparison with the expectation of the slower RTX 2080 Super. A lot of people love the 2080 Super. Don't know why, but they did. Lowest 7900 GRE price here is €604. So it seems the stock runs low. Yeah, but when the stock gets super low, the prices are going to be super high. So the last few that you go to want to buy is 4 times what it's worth. So. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little festivity of AMD and their launch and everything else. To me, it's a head scratcher. I'm going to be scratching my head for a little while on this. It's got me thinking that they mentioned one more boldly than they did the other. It's like they mentioned more boldly rasterization, but when it comes to ray tracing, they didn't. They left it. It fell on its face. I just feel that the ray tracing part fell on its face. It didn't have enough teeth in it. It didn't have that bite. It didn't have enough teeth in it. So, that's just the way I feel. So, there is a side of the AMD main press deck suggesting the 9070 XT is 26% faster than the 3090 at 4K. Max settings in games, 51% faster than the 6900 XT. Yeah, but they missed the one part. They still missed it. Jay, don't forget the Discord. Yeah, alright, bro. I got you. I'll do it right now. I guess. I'll do it right now. How do I get there? Ooh. Okay. I'm looking. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking for the notifications. What I'm looking for. I'm looking for the notification. Take care, peace, blessing for all. Okay, you too, John Paul. You too. You take care as well, my friend. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to look for that DV. I will try to get a connection with you on that. So, guys, y'all have a great day, and I said my piece and my prosperity and everything I thought about it. And yes, the backplate MTBK, the backplate. I'm not seeing it. Like I told you guys, didn't have enough teeth in it. Yeah, literally. The backplate had no holes above the chip. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. And do remember, DV, you can type on my Discord and remind me there about friending you on the Discord. Just to let you know. Unless I missed something. I probably did. But anyway, guys, happy Friday. Yep, happy Friday to you all. Right back. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you know when I post out the next video. So until the next time, which probably is going to be tomorrow on the live feed. Probably, we'll see. Until the next time in the next video, we'll see you guys on the next one.